Hello traders and investors, how are you today? Welcome to another video here in the Finance Hydra channel. My name is Nathan, it is a pleasure to see you guys around here, and today is Friday. As usual, I am going to share with you guys my own thoughts and insights on the markets. We are going to talk about the indices, the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones. We are going to talk about individual stocks, Tesla, PLTR, FAANGs, and much more. I really believe you guys are going to like this video. In that case, remember to click on the like button. Remember to click right now because you will forget about the like button. So please click on the like button right now. If you are not my subscriber yet, I really advise you to subscribe because our content is pretty good, and I am sure you are going to like this video. All right, so we are going to talk about the indices first. My videos are all about price action. By the way, if you're not familiar with my style, it's all about price action. If you look at the S&P right now, the S&P is trying to deny yesterday's bullish reaction. It is really trying to. We must see a reaction quickly in order to avoid a continuation of this bear trend. It is doing lower highs, lower lows, so we must see a reaction quickly. And when I say quickly, I mean today or on Monday, okay? But we must see a reaction very quickly. Otherwise, it's going to lose yesterday's low and potentially the 50% Fibonacci's retracement, indicating that it could drop a little bit more, maybe to the 61.8% retracement. I don't know yet. Either way, I think now is the best time for a reaction on the S&P, okay? It's the best time ever because we just retested the 50% retracement. Yesterday, we did a previous line candlestick pattern. It was not denied yet, but it could be, but it was not just yet. So, guys, if we see a reaction quickly today or on Monday, I think the index is going to stop dropping at least. I'm not saying we are going to fly from here, but it has a very good chance of stabilizing itself a little bit in the next few days. And if you ask me, we have this new Omicron variant which made the stock market drop over here. I don't believe that's necessarily concerning. We had much worse situations over here in the past. For instance, the COVID was a very intense drop, okay? We barely did a retest of the 21 EMA in the daily chart, and then we kept dropping. Right now, this drop is not that intense if you ask me, and we already did a pullback to the EMA today, okay? So it feels like it's not that intense. And if you look in the past, we had much worse situations over here. For instance, September 2020, the index actually triggered a bearish pivot point. Of course, it went up in the next few months, okay? We did a double bottom chart pattern over here, but it did a bearish pivot point. Here, it also did a bearish pivot point. It was not that clear as it did over here, but it was a bearish pivot point. It did another pivot point over here. So, and in all of these situations, the index just did a pullback to the 21 EMA in the weekly chart. Okay, so if you look at the weekly chart, the trend is still clearly bullish. And all this news about this new variant and etc., they're all just a perfect excuse for the S&P to do a pullback and to get closer to the EMA. At least, all right? Maybe it's going to retest the EMA. Maybe. I'm not sure about that yet, but if it does, all right, I'm not going to be surprised at all. It did this pullback sometimes in the past, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the past. The Nasdaq, the same logic applies to the Nasdaq, okay? After the COVID crash, we went below the EMA, and since then, we hit the EMA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. If we drop a little bit more over here, and when I say more, I mean if we drop more 2%, that's gonna be just fine in my humble opinion, okay? Yes, I know we have the idea of a head and shoulders chart pattern over here, but it's gonna be rough for it to drop and to reverse the trend in one single movement without more bearish structures. Okay, in the daily chart, we are losing the previous support level, we are losing this neckline, and we are doing a bearish engulfing of the previous bullish candlestick pattern over here, indicating that we could drop a little bit more. Maybe let's use Fibonacci over here again. Right now we are trying to lose the 38.2% Fibonacci's retracement. If we drop a little bit more, I think we're going to retest the 50% retracement, or even in the worst case scenario, the 61.8% retracement, dropping almost 3%. But I don't believe that's going to happen right now with the information we have, because the trend is still clearly bullish in the long term. Okay, like we still see higher highs, higher lows, and as long as we see this movement, I can't believe in a sharper correction. But yes, this head and shoulders might indicate a sharper pullback, a continuation of this bearish bias. And the bias is clearly bearish. We are having lower highs, lower lows. The S&P, the bear trend is even clearer. See, we have crystal clear lower highs, lower lows. And again, we must react very, very quickly in order to avoid a bearish continuation and potentially a pullback to the EMA in the weekly chart. But if we don't see a crystal clear reaction, all right, that's just fine by me. The Dow Jones index is a little bit more bullish. This pattern over here is called the gift pattern, okay, which is just a smaller correction in smaller time frames and a possible bullish pivot point. If we break the previous top, this purple line over here, not this one, but this line over here, potentially is going to trigger a bullish pivot point, even possibly an inverted head and shoulders, and it will resume the bullish bias in the long term. Okay, but right now this is just a possible scenario. We don't see any confirmation about that yet, and it is impressive. Every single index over here is dropping except Brazil today, right? Shanghai Composite went up yesterday. Let's see how it's going to play today. Probably it's going to drop, but look at Brazil going up 0.75%. I'm very proud of it. If you don't know, I am Brazilian. Look at this little flag over here, which was a gift of one of my patrons. I am Brazilian. That's why I have this weird accent, and it's reacting nicely today. Look at FTSE index over here, dropping sharply below the EMA. CAC dropping sharply. The DAX index, oh my god, it's dropping so sharply. And if you look at Bitcoin, guys, Bitcoin is in a bear trend, okay? It's not reacting. I don't see any meaningful reaction, and I think it's going to do the same thing the indices are doing, a pullback to the EMA, just like it did over here. If we see a reaction over here, all right, probably it's going to be a buy sign for us, but right now it's not a buy sign. Now let's talk about individual stocks. If you're still watching this video, man, I think I did deserve your like button, your subscription, all right? I really, really believe that, because we just went through the most boring part of this video. Now we are going to talk about stocks. Let's talk about Tesla first, okay? Tesla. Tesla is quite weird right now because it did deny the bullish pivot point we discussed it on Monday. All right, we discussed this possible scenario, and it did trigger the pivot point, and it did went up a little bit, but in sequence it did this double bottom chart pattern over here, and it dropped sharply, and right now we are losing this support level at 1062. We are losing it, and since we have no other support levels to hold Tesla, $1,000 is the next most important key point for us, okay? $1,000 is a very emblematic price level, right? A very symbolic price level. It is a round number, $1,000, and I really, really believe it's going to hold the price again, just like it did over here on November 10 and on November 15. I believe that's the most important support level for Tesla, okay? I don't believe we're going to lose it, but in a scenario when we actually lose the $1,000, I think it's going to fill this gap, okay? 910. All right, I believe it's going to fill this gap, meaning it could drop more 11%, roughly 10.91%, and this could be just a normal scenario, because if you fill that gap, probably we're going to get closer to the EMA in the weekly chart, which is also going up sharply over here. It's going up nicely. Maybe it's going to offer a support level for us as well. And just like I see a true possibility of the indices, the S&P, the Nasdaq, all correcting to their EMAs in the weekly chart, that's a true possibility on Tesla. Okay, it is. But we must lose the $1,000 first. And in my humble opinion, I don't believe that's going to happen. Okay, I think the odds are slightly more better for the bulls over here. It's likely not that much, but it's slightly better for the bulls. We must wait for a crystal clear reaction over here, like a candlestick pattern over here, okay, bullish candlestick pattern. If it does any reaction around the $1,000, that's gonna be amazing. Probably another buy sign, because the risk reward ratio is going to be very good. But right now, let's just wait a little bit more. NEO dropping 8% today, just retested a previous support level. Now is the time for a reaction, okay? If the S&P, the Nasdaq, Tesla, NEO, and many other stocks are going to react, guys, now is the time, okay? Now is the time, and it must react very quickly. So we are in a very decisive moment. If it's going to drop or if it's going to go up next, either way, we are going to have our answer very quickly. All right, Lucid is back to the EMA. Okay, now if you wanna start thinking about buying Lucid, I think now is the time. All right, I was very stubborn in the past 3 weeks saying that Lucid is not a buy, guys. Now if you wanna buy, I'm not gonna judge you. Okay, now is the time. At $57, it's not a buy. At 45, maybe it is a buy, okay? But let's wait for a reaction, okay? Waiting for a reaction is what differentiates us from gamblers, okay? Gamblers, they try to predict where the market is going. Professionals react to what the market is doing. So let's wait for a reaction over here. Let's wait for some confirmation. NVDA dropping 5%, exactly 5% right now. Guys, if you ask me, I think NVIDIA is just doing a pullback to the EMA. And that's it, okay? This is it. I don't believe we're going to see a pullback to the EMA in the weekly chart like the indices, because that would be just too much, in my humble opinion, okay? And Palantir is dropping sharply. We don't see any buy sign. We don't see any reaction since it lost this support level at $20. We see nothing but sell, and maybe it's going to retest the 17, this support level over here. Okay, that's a true possibility, and if that happens, I think it's gonna be potentially a great opportunity to buy. Right now we see no reaction, it's just dropping. Okay, let's just wait for more confirmation. It's going to seek the next support level. If the indices react, probably Palantir is going to react over here, but right now we see no confirmation about that yet. If we look at, let me see over here, the FAANGs are all dropping. They're all losing support levels. Facebook is trying to lose this support level over here. Apple is still in a very strong bull trend. The bias is still clearly bullish, but we don't see any meaningful buy sign over here right now. I don't believe Apple is a buy. I rather prefer to wait for more, for a deeper correction, if you ask me. Amazon lost this support level, this purple line. I think it's going to retest the 32.73 over here. That's a real possibility, unless if the indices react right now from here. Netflix has a possibility of dropping to this yellow line over here, but it's not reacting right now. We see nothing but sell pressure. Google is looking pretty good. If I were to buy one of the FAANGs, probably would be Google, if we see a meaningful bullish structure right now, okay, which right now we see none. All right, so let's just wait for more confirmation. Microsoft has a possible head and shoulders over here, which is triggering right now today. Is triggering today this possible head and shoulders? If you ask me, this gap, this little gap is a target for us, okay? So let's just wait for more confirmation. If it actually fills this gap and reacts, I think it's going to be a very nice buy opportunity, but right now, let's just stay neutral. Okay, I don't believe it is the time to short or to sell it because the risk reward ratio is not making too much sense to me, but it's not the time to buy just yet because we don't see any confirmation. And the same applies to all of these stocks over here. If you look at our EV list, Rivian dropping 8%, losing support level. So guys, it's not a buy anymore. On Monday I said, if you are really planning on buying Rivian, okay, maybe now is a good opportunity for you, but I wouldn't be that comfortable with it. XPeng is also dropping more than 8%, almost 9%. And if you ask me, it's just seeking this support level. We'll see if it's going to react. If it loses this support level, it's problematic because we don't see any meaningful other support level over here. Maybe it's going to seek this one. Maybe, right? I'm not sure about that yet. We'll see, right? We'll see. Either way, if we look at the indices again, they all have the possibility of dropping more, but I don't believe that's going to be the end of the world for us, okay? I really don't believe that's the case. Potentially, it's going to trigger many buy opportunities for us. So stay in touch, okay? Keep in touch. Remember to click on the like button, support this channel, subscribe, because this video is over. Thank you very much for your support, my friends. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Stay safe. Farewell.